What is up, everybody? JackDrees here. We are here for the third episode of Movie Requests. This is a series where I take requests from celebrities on their films of choice. I watch them, and I reviewed them specifically for you, the viewing public. Now, these are all chosen in advance. This film I have never seen. Last year, I asked 10 people what movies I should talk about. And I wrote all the names of the people and their movies on this list. One of those people will be the subject of today's episode, as well as their film of choice. I did not see that coming. I just brushed it off right there. Now you can see we have the lighting here. This is a little bit different than my past couple of episodes where I just did basic white lighting. Today we have some yellow lighting over here. We have some red lighting over here. And that's because our guest for today's episode is from the movie Dodgeball, a True Underdog Story. And he's also known for Avatar, Grandma's Boy, Forever, which was on ABC. He is going to have a film in this year's Tribeca Film Festival. It's going to be called The Leader. Look forward to that. Until then, please welcome today's guest, Joel David Moore. Take it away, Joel.
Hey, I'm Joel David Moore, and Jack, I request you to see Force Majeure by Ruben Östlund. It is one of my favorite movies in the last 10-15 years. It's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about it.
Now, Joel, thank you very much for your request. Thank you very much, and I can say I not only watched it, I bought it on physical media, like I did for most of the movies in this series. I didn't do it for Bryce Dallas Howard's movie, The Idiots, as there was no American DVD release that I know of, or any physical release of any kind. I looked for it online, couldn't find it anywhere, but I was able to find a copy of this. Now, if you look at the DVD cover, it actually gives you some of the quotes. Huffington Post says that this is a must-see dark comedy. Los Angeles Times says it's the absolute best of contemporary cinema. Rolling Stone calls it a jolt. You won't know what hit you. And it's funny that they decided to go with that quote because a large part of this film involves an avalanche. This film is set at a ski resort. So, a lot of mountains, therefore, an avalanche is kind of inevitable. There's a scene early on in the film where we see the family eating together outside. Then this big pile of snow comes tumbling down. And they notice it, a bunch of other people notice it. It's getting bigger and bigger, but there's a sense that, okay, maybe it's under control. Nope. It's coming right in your face. In fact, there's a whole segment where the frame is just white. It's just white. Not bright white, but it's the kind of white that gives you the sense that snow is covering the lens almost. And that kind of serves as the inciting incident of the film, or more accurately, what the family does during this specific moment. Perhaps most accurately, what the father does in this specific moment, or perhaps even more accurately, what he doesn't do. So the father in this film, Thomas, he's played by Johannes Kuke. First off, the acting in this film is fantastic. I'll get to that in a second, but most of the film revolves around the father's lack of action during the avalanche. He is there with his spouse, he's there with his children, but after the avalanche, he and his spouse have dinner with a couple other people, one of the spouse's friends, and, well, things do not go as well as I guess Thomas hoped, because, well, his spouse, Ebba, addresses, yeah, you ran away from the scene. You were not there to help us. Not a good look. So he remembers the events somewhat differently, or at least that's what he's saying. The film does present some interesting commentary on, I guess, survival instincts. I mean, it just presents the basic idea. What would you do in a life or death situation? Would you run for your loved ones? Would you want to protect yourself? Would you want to Because it's one of those things that you just don't know what is going to happen until, well, it happens. This film always puts the main couple in a situation where I guess you can understand both sides. In reality, I am kind of rooting for Ebba because, well, this is a couple that has children. Ebba, it wants what's best, not just for her, not just for her husband, but also her children. You gotta think of the children. This is a film that I do not know if I'm going to watch it again anytime soon, but if I were to watch it again, I'd probably watch it with somebody else. And it doesn't really matter who. It could be anybody. It could even be my worst enemy. Because this is one of those films that, kind of like the conversations themselves within the film, I think could inspire some interesting conversations after the fact, after the viewing experience. Maybe we'll learn something about each other, and who knows, maybe it'll end a friendship. You never know. This could end a marriage. I don't know. Great films have the power to change the world. And it maybe even will change your relationship, like this one. Standouts in this film are far greater than just the story and characters, but yeah, I mentioned again, the acting is phenomenal. I mean, and the reason why I say that is not just because the adult actors, Thomas, Ebba, they're good, but the children in this film are amazing. They do an amazing job. And part of that is shown by Ruben Östlund, he's the director. Ruben Östlund's tendency to showcase long takes. The shot transition count in this film is fairly minimal. Scenes go on for a very long time. I mean, they're very drawn out, first off. The scenes themselves are drawn out. But the shots within the scenes are just as drawn out. Like, you ever see a film, like, for example, like, use those shot reverse shot. Like, you have a person here, you have another person here. Yeah, basic rule of thirds. Sometimes there'll be someone on this side of the camera, or this side of the camera. A little over the shoulder action. You see the cameras reversing back and forth. This film does not resort to that basic tendency. At least not often. There's a number of shots that go on for a minute or two, and that way you can get about as authentic of a conversation as possible. You ever have one of those dramatic conversations with somebody where you just don't know what to say, or you just don't know what the other person is going to say? And not only is that represented in the film's screenplay, but also the direction. I mean, you have these long pauses. It's represented itself by the fact that the camera refuses to change its angle or change its direction. It's really weird to call a movie like this immersive, but this is an incredibly immersive experience, just based on how lifelike the conversations themselves happen to be. Again, these conversations not only inspire debate, but the specific dialogue and characters within them are lifelike themselves. Also, speaking of technical aspects, the score in this film, or should I really call it a score? It's more of a soundtrack in this film. I don't even know. I had to look this up, but for those of you who know Vivaldi, the composer, Vivaldi, you know that he did the Four Seasons. And there's a very interesting song choice in this film. First off, again, this film is set at a ski resort. So there's a lot of snow. Weird choice to have Summer be the repeated song throughout the film. This song plays the beginning, the middle, the end. It's almost every other scene this plays. And I have no complaints. It's a great song. But really? You have all this snow, and yet you want to play Summer. You want to play Winter? Make it make sense. Well, I mean, I'm not complaining too much. This is, I mean, it's a great song. I have nothing against it. And it's well used in the movie. Just a nitpick. That song, I associate it with a number of things, including the Season of Summer itself. Now I'm going to associate it, oddly enough, with this movie, this viewing experience. The film is quite serious at times based on the conversations that play out. But there are some moments of humor. There's a repeated gag involving a janitor in the hotel. There's one moment during a completely serious conversation that's happening in the hotel hallway where we cut to the janitor. I will not specify when it happens, what the conversation is about. All I will say is that there is a cut to a janitor, and I broke. That was my biggest laugh in the movie. You'll probably know it when you see it. Upon doing research for this review, I found out that there is a remake of this film, and I was aware that this movie existed. I had no idea that this movie was based on the one I am reviewing. I have not seen this movie, just for the record. This film was remade as Downhill. Unlike this film, this one is Hollywood-based. It stars Will Ferrell, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Unfortunately, unlike Force Majeure, this film does not seem to be getting the best reviews. It's a 4.9 on IMDb. I don't know if that's because it's being compared to this movie, or if it's just a bad movie by itself. But that's disappointing. Joel David Moore recommended this movie to me. And first off, I appreciate his recommendation. He said it is one of his favorite movies of the past 10 years.
For the last 10, 15 years.
For the record, this movie came out in 2014. 2014 is, if you ask me, one of the greatest years for film ever. I mean, you have Whiplash, you have Birdman, you have one of my favorite movies ever, Interstellar. You have a couple great comic book movies in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy. It was just a great year for film all around. And I have very few complaints about that year. Does Force Majeure join the greats of that year? I mean, yeah, it's up there. I mean, for me, it's not going to have the rewatchability of Whiplash or something like that, but this is a film that is going to make me think for a long time based on its subject matter, based on its execution. Has a really good shot selection, cinematography, nice locations. The hotel was pretty inviting. I like the set that they used for it. I don't know where they shot this specifically. The cast has really good chemistry. I like everybody in this film. This is an excellent film. I highly recommend it. Joel David Moore, you picked an amazing movie for me to watch. And I am very happy to say that I am going to give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you very much for your recommendation. It does mean a lot. It means the world that I get to do this. And yeah, it was also great meeting you. That should do it for this review. My next review is going to be up on, guess what? May the 4th. That is Star Wars Day. And we are going to have a guest from the Star Wars franchise. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that my next episode of Movie Request is going to feature none other than Katie Sackhoff. You might know her from The Mandalorian, Battlestar Galactica, Riddick. Look forward to her appearance in the series very soon. I'm going to announce the movie on that day. That is May the 4th. That is a Monday. That is about almost 2 weeks after I post this review. So look forward to that. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. And be sure to be on the lookout for the next episode, again, dropping on May the 4th. Also a reminder, please follow my movie blog that is seen before. You can find it at flicknerd.com. That is FLICKNERD.com. Follow it with an email or WordPress account. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one, everybody. And once again, special thanks to Joel David Moore for the recommendation. Really like this movie. Thank you very much.